Times. Today's stories. COVID-19 cases rise in Toronto. Ottawa goes into red zone due to the rising COVID-19 cases. Deployment of AstraZeneca Covishield vaccines in BC. BC biotech firm seeks emergency approval for COVID-killing nasal spray treatment. The U.S. plan to lend AstraZeneca doses to Mexico and Canada. In sports, Bucks Antetokounmpo bullies 76ers with 32 points in OT win. Rewards himself with a Philly cheesesteak. Hello everyone, you're watching Eagle News Canada. I'm Tiffany Elisassis reporting from Calgary, Alberta, bringing you stories from across the globe.
An angry Prime Minister Trudeau condemned the secret espionage trials of two Canadian businessmen in China.
Their arbitrary detention is completely unacceptable, as is the lack of transparency around these court proceedings.
Michael Spavor went on trial Friday in northeast China. Michael Kovrig will be in court Monday. Outside the court, diplomats from several countries assembled. They had no access to the court hearing. The 2-hour trial was held in secret. No verdict was immediately announced. Trudeau questions what kind of hearing Spavor got.
One of the challenges around the lack of transparency on that process is it becomes extremely difficult to make judgments around whether or not the trial was fair.
This trial has got the attention of several nations. The Prime Minister says that's because it has global implications.
We've continued to rally allies who are concerned about this, not just because of these two Canadians, but because of the potential implications for their own citizens.
Trudeau adds he's grateful for the support Canada has received from around the world.
I want to thank our many, many international partners, friends, and allies for their solidarity and support.
Chinese authorities detained the pair in 2018. It's believed to be in retaliation for the arrest in Canada of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou. The two Canadian men have had almost no contact with the outside world since their arrest. Meng remains under house arrest at her Vancouver mansion. Her hearing's expected to wrap up in mid-May, barring appeals. Meanwhile, Trudeau continues to promise to do what he can.
Our top priority remains securing their release. We will continue to work tirelessly to bring them home as soon as possible.
But while he promises to try, Trudeau is likely going to have to rely on the mercy of the Chinese government. Canada has little clout on the global scene. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Toronto Mayor announces the opening of 3 immunization sites as COVID-19 cases rise. Eagle News correspondent Yolanda Asprias files the report.
As Ontario opens up more vaccination clinics this week, the number of COVID-19 cases are slowly rising again in the province and in the city of Toronto. Here is Toronto's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Aileen Davila, with the announcement.
Today, I'm reporting 576 new cases of COVID-19. 290 people are in hospital, and 50 people are in the ICU. I'm sadly also reporting the deaths of 5 people today. The current number of cases screened positive for variants of concern is 3,920.
Mayor John Tory also announced this Wednesday that Toronto opens 3 mass immunization sites, 200+ pharmacies, and 21 hospital clinics to aid in administering vaccines. In Toronto, almost 300,000 doses of the vaccine has already been administered to date. The following hospital clinics are now open to administer the vaccine: Unity Health Toronto, University Health Network, Michael Garron Hospital East Toronto, Humber River Hospital, Northchurch General Hospital, Scarborough Health Network, and Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center. 3 of the mass immunization sites also opened Wednesday and are now scheduled to vaccinate about 1,300 people. To book an appointment online, go to covid-19.ontario.ca/book-vaccine/. Confidence in the vaccine is also significant in making an informed decision on whether to get the vaccine or not. The city has provided training to 800+ community ambassadors to build vaccine trust and support the public in providing accurate vaccine information. Dr. Aileen De Villa reminds the people of Toronto that getting the COVID-19 vaccine does not mean that the pandemic is over.
The pandemic continues. Variant infections have risen steadily, if slowly. Even small steps forward, permitting additional outdoor activities, do not signal that the threat has been reduced to an extent that we can let our guard down when it comes to self-protection. In fact, each step forward is a reminder that we've got to up our game. We are increasingly moving around, and we have to do it masked and at a distance, and with every other practical consideration we can make to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and lower the risk of becoming infected with it. The more we can reduce the spread of COVID-19 through distance and masking, the more effective our vaccination efforts will be.
In Toronto, Yolanda Aspiras, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Ottawa is moving to red control zone due to the increasing COVID-19 cases in the area. Here's Eagle News correspondent Sabir Mafti with the details.
The Ontario government is moving the Ottawa Public Health Region from orange framework to red control zone effective March 19, 12:01 a.m. due to the worsening trends in the key indicators of the region. According to the government, from March 10th to the 15th, 2021, Ottawa Public Health's case rate increased by 24.8% to 46.8 cases per 100,000 people. In addition, COVID-19 wastewater signal data in Ottawa is worsening. Red control zone mostly impacts capacities for cities' indoor recreational services. For indoor recreational activities, 3 meters of physical distancing is required in weight and cardio rooms. Public skating, fitness, and sports activities, reservations will continue with a reduced 10-person capacity. Swimming pool capacities continue to be significantly reduced as well. The restrictive status does not permit the playing of team sports or scrimmages, and only training activities are permitted. Sports that allow for physical distancing and involve doubles play only, like pickleball and badminton, will be permitted. Skating on the outdoor refrigerated rinks will continue by reservation only, with a maximum capacity of 25 skaters per session. Select city rental spaces will be available to accommodate up to a maximum of 10 people indoors and 25 people outdoors, provided the space allows for adequate physical distancing of at least 2 meters. In-person city-county counter services continue. In Ottawa, Canada, this is Sabir Mafti. We live in interesting times.
Health Canada confirms that the benefits of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine continue to outweigh the risks for the use in Canada. Eagle News correspondent Andre Lejoie has the report.
Health Canada confirms that the benefits of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine outweigh the risk. With recent report in Europe of blood clots following vaccination with AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, Health Canada confirms that the benefit of AstraZeneca vaccine outweigh the risk. Health Canada encouraged Canadians to get immunized with any of the COVID-19 vaccine that are authorized in Canada. Determined and assessed by Health Canada, based on the available data on the report events, the AstraZeneca vaccine has not been associated with the increase of overall risk of blood clots. According to Health Canada, they will continue to work with international regulators and reviews data on evidence and as it becomes available, including all patterns to those or rare events. The department is also working with AstraZeneca to ensure that the healthcare professionals and Canadians have the safety and information they need. To date, in Canada, there has been one report of a stroke that occurred in an individual following the vaccination with Covishield, the version of AstraZeneca vaccine currently being distributed in Canada. This case has been assessed by Health Canada and determined not to be related to the vaccine. In Ottawa, Canada, this is André Lajoie. We live in an interesting time.
The Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission approved funding for 7 transport projects. Eagle News correspondent Stacey Diocampo reports.
The Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission announced that 7 network transport projects will receive up to $57.7 million in funding from Broadband Fund, which will allocate to remote communities represented by both Indigenous and official language minority households. A fiber transport network will be built in northern Quebec, Ontario, and British Columbia. Once the networks are completed, they will provide improved transport connectivity for the targeted communities and will connect to 55 institutions that provide public service such as schools, medical facilities, and libraries according to CRTC. The CRTC expects fixed broadband internet access service to be available in 90% of Canadian homes and businesses by the end of 2021, and 100% as soon as possible. The goal of CRTCs is for all Canadian homes, businesses, and along major transportation roads have access to speeds of at least 50 Mbps download and 10 Mbps upload with the option of an unlimited data allowance, to long-term evolution broadband, also known as LTE. The CRTC Broadband Fund will provide up to $750 million over 5 years to support projects that improve broadband internet access services and mobile wireless services in underserved areas in Canada. It is designed to complement private sector investments and public sector initiatives. In Montreal, Quebec, Stacey Diocampo will live in interesting times.
British Columbia prepares to deploy its first dose of the AstraZeneca Covishield to essential workers. Eagle News correspondent Kathleen Cruz reports.
British Columbia received the first doses of AstraZeneca Covishield vaccines last week. The initial shipment of AstraZeneca serum will be used to protect workers in industries where outbreaks continue to occur.
And the first shipment that we received last week of this vaccine, about 60,000 doses, is being used right now to help us address community outbreak response. We knew that this was, in consultation with my colleagues in public health, using the vaccine to help break chains of transmission in communities, particularly where we are seeing ongoing risk and transmission in clusters and outbreaks in workplaces. These are the outbreaks that are happening now, and this helps us to reduce the transmission that we are seeing in our community right now. In the coming days, starting this past weekend, we are focusing on those high-risk work sites that we have identified through this pandemic as the ones where we see transmission, where it's very challenging for people to be able to maintain their personal protective equipment when barriers are an issue. And we've seen outbreaks that have affected communities around the province, particularly in food processing plants, in agricultural operations with shared accommodations.
Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry also mentioned that the additional vaccines from AstraZeneca are approved by Health Canada for people who are 18 years old and above. This is the third approved vaccine for use in Canada, despite suspension issues in some European countries due to safety concerns of blood clots to its recipients. As reported by Health Canada, the AZ vaccine will also be administered in 2 doses, with an effectiveness of 62% in preventing COVID-19 based on analyses conducted in Canada. By deploying the additional vaccines, BC will get ahead on its COVID-19 immunization plan to allocate the vaccines to priority and frontline workers and reduce COVID-19 transmission in BC. Alternatively, both Pfizer and Moderna are still being given based on age and vulnerable communities. The BC Immunization Committee is continuously reviewing data to determine additional workplaces that will be prioritized for immunization using AstraZeneca vaccine. In Vancouver, Kathleen Cruz, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
BC-based biotech firm is seeking federal approval for emergency use of its COVID-19 nasal spray treatment. Eagle News correspondent Vanessa Condi reports.
After months of clinical trials, a BC-based biotech firm called Sanitize is now seeking federal approval for emergency use of their nasal spray product. The company has said it's been found to reduce COVID-19 levels by 95% within 24 hours and more than 99% in 3 days. The clinical trials have taken place in Canada and the UK for people who had COVID-19. They have also mentioned that it works against the UK variant. When treated quickly, the virus was killed before it could enter the lungs.
If someone sneezes on you or you think you're exposed to COVID, you pull it out of your purse, your pocket, and you spray again, and that prevents the virus from infecting you.
We know that infection starts in the nasal passages. That's where the virus enters the body. It multiplies there. If we kill it when it enters the body, we will not get sick. I hang out around a lot of people. I come out of public transportation and I step out and I want to make sure that I'm protected. I take my mask and I spray into my nose. I make sure that I protect myself and I will not be exposed to the virus.
The owners have mentioned that this nasal spray should be an additional layer to the fight against COVID-19. In Victoria, BC, Vanessa Condi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki confirms the administration is working to finalize plans to lend 2.5 million doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine to Mexico and 1.5 million doses to Canada.
I can confirm that we have 7 million releasable doses available of AstraZeneca, and as noted in Jeff's scooplet, which I'm just going to keep calling it, 2.5 million of those we are working to finalize plans to lend those to Mexico and 1.5 million to Canada. Our first priority remains vaccinating the U.S. population. The reality is the border knows no pandemic knows no borders, and ensuring our neighbors can contain the virus is a mission-critical to ending the pandemic.
During her daily briefing, Psaki also reacts to President Putin's invitation to speak to President Biden over a live stream. "I'll have to get back to you if that is something we're entertaining," she says.
While you've been briefing, President Putin has just extended an invitation to President Biden to continue their conversation, but this time he wants to do it live. He's asking for a live-streamed conversation, an open, direct dialogue. Putin says he's available tomorrow or Monday. Is this something that you would consider?
I'll have to get back to you if that is something we are entertaining. I would say that the President already had a conversation already with President Putin, even if, as there are more world leaders that he has not yet engaged with.
At approximately 8 a.m. this morning, 2 Honolulu police cruisers were seen exiting the McCoy Shopping Center at a high rate of speed, stopping a short 1 block away at the Royal Aloha condominiums on Alawai Boulevard. More police arrived thereafter, along with an ambulance blocking all traffic from entering the area. Later, 2 SWAT-type vehicles arrived, and police, armed with rifles, exited to climb on the roof. The Royal Aloha condominium, which has a 2.5-star rating on internet review sites, is the frequent site for police activity, but not usually to this degree.
To gain a better view into the apartment,
The police utilized a long pole to break the window glass to see inside. Eventually, the suspect was removed from his apartment and was taken downstairs in handcuffs to a waiting police cruiser. Reporting from Honolulu, Hawaii, this is Ron Hamilton for Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Coming up, in sports, Bucks Antetokounmpo bullies 76ers with 32 points in OT win, rewards himself with a Philly cheesesteak. Eagle News Canada continues after this.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas. A 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Agila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Agila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science, and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to claims our health outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News Canada. I'm Tiffany Eliasassis from Calgary, Alberta. Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo showed no brotherly love to the Philadelphia 76ers, bullying past the team's defense with 32 points in Wednesday's overtime win. The Greek freak then rewards himself with a Philly cheesesteak. Eagle News sports correspondent Taniso McGee with the details.
In Wednesday's matchup between two of the best Eastern Conference teams, Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo bullied his way to 32 points in Milwaukee's overtime win against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Is there something wrong with having fun? No, I don't think there's anything wrong with having fun. I'm just trying to have fun. I feel like, in the first half, I was not having fun. And I kind of, talked to myself in the half, and I said, no matter what, the outcome of the game is, you cannot forget what you're here to do, which is have fun. And, obviously there's going to be times that I exaggerate, but I don't take anything back because I wasn't thinking about I'm going to sit down. I was just having fun. I was talking to, my teammates. I was talking to them. And, I was just trying to be in the moment. But no, I don't take nothing back. I was just having fun.
Well, how did the Greek freak celebrate this victory? He demanded for a Philadelphia cheesesteak with whiz. But a reporter schooled him on the proper way of pronouncing this iconic city sandwich.
Last week has been somebody grab me one, please. Hey, give me the steak one with the mushroom and cheese, American cheese, please.
In Philly, they call that whiz wit.
Give me the. This is the whiz whiz. I got the whiz whiz. Whiz wit?
Yeah, not whiz.
That doesn't sound right to me though. Whiz wit. Whiz wit. Okay. That doesn't sound right to me. That sounds like it's kind of shaky. You know what I'm saying? But okay.
Sixers demand revenge, according to Dwight Howard, and vow that in the next series, his team will avenge this loss.
It's basketball. He want to have fun, but we'll see these guys again. We don't want to make a big scene about what he did, but today we allowed him to get back in the game. What he did, we can't control that, but he had a hell of a game. He made some tough shots at the end of the game. He's reigning MVP, and he had a great game. So I'm not one to talk trash or say anything negative, but we'll see them again, and be a different result.
Tune in to Eagle News for more stories and highlights on the NBA throughout this season. In New York, Tenny Sumagi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
That's our program for today. Join us again next week as we bring stories that matter to you. Visit our website at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenews and on Facebook at facebook.com/eaglenews. Thank you for watching. I am Tiffany Lysasis. We live in interesting times.